there. Welcome to another Petite Pod. I got another Say What segment for you, courtesy Colin Cowherd from his show The Herd. I'm going to play that clip that stood out to me where Colin talks about Michael Jordan and the reasons why he thinks we like him more after viewing The Last Dance docu-series. So why don't we go ahead and play that clip first, and then we'll rejoin and talk about that.
My wife likes me to be a man. She likes me to be a man. There are things in the house. Don't listen to the media. The media wants you to believe everything's shared and the duties are all... Not at my house. My wife, I take the garbage out. Okay, that's on me. And she's proud of it. I'm proud of her. And I don't believe all the media nonsense that women love metrosexuals. There's a reason they put calendars out every year with firemen with no shirts on. And they fly off the shelves. It's not poets without their shirts on. Women like men. And this is why Michael Jordan was worried that he wouldn't be popular with his documentary. And why we like him more. Because he's a guy, and he's a guy's guy. Is that Michael Jordan's Gordon Gekko. They built the film Wall Street, and they thought he was going to be a villain. Remember Greed is Good? And at the end, people were like, no, I kind of like his ideas. Which is kick butt, take names. This was supposed to make Gordon Gekko a villain this moment. And some are going to label it toxic masculinity. But to me, I look at Michael, and he's strong-willed, great parents, smart guy, polished, and he's not backing off, and he's not going to conform to what people want to make him. He's going to be true to what his parents made him. He's a guy's guy. Totally down with it. That doesn't mean I'm looking for meatheads. I try to bring smart people on the show, but I stay away from the wokesters because people keep telling you what they want. Listen to the people. Beto O'Rourke's handsome. They want Biden. The media is trying to convince you. You should like this and chiding you and shaming you, and people like what they like. I like oatmeal. Women like strong men, guys like strong men. Michael's strong. Flawed, imperfect, sometimes a jerk. But it's okay. We're all flawed.
All right. So what do you guys think about that? There's a lot to sort of digest and go through. So why don't we talk about it, right? That's why we're here. So Colin's premise is women like men, and that's why we like Michael more. Michael pause space more. I don't know if you like Michael Moore. I like Michael Moore's documentaries. Michael Jordan more after The Last Dance. Interesting, that take on that. Women's half the population, but I get where he's coming from. I agree that in general, women prefer a quote-unquote man. That's the stereotype of what a man's man is. That doesn't mean you have to have an MMA fighter's physique. Doesn't mean you go around wearing a wife beater chugging beers. It does mean, though, that there is this reptilian part of the brain, the part that takes over, like, for instance, like when you get cut off on the freeway. You know what I'm talking about. That part of the brain controls attraction. And we're just talking about women here, right? So for the most part, attraction isn't a choice. I mean, come on, women don't sit back and think, okay, let's see. I like the hair. Let's see, shoes. Okay, that's a check. Let's see, opens the door for me. Okay, check. Okay, I'm now attracted to him. No, you either have accessed that primitive part of the brain or you haven't. So I sort of, when I say I agree with Colin, I do agree that if you're more along the lines of a man's man and alpha, through, many years of evolution, that you increase your chances of accessing that part of the brain. Now, he also says, he gave that instance about making decisions and things like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Make decisions and stick with them, just in general, right? But you know, none of this more along the lines of attraction. You know, none of this. Where do you feel like eating? I'm okay with wherever you want to eat, honey. By the way, bought this gift for you because I think you're special. You're trying to manipulate the situation, by the way, if you're just meeting someone for the first time and this is your behavior. But anyways, just decide, and you might get resistance, but who cares? Just treat resistance as if it was a test to see if you're for real. Oh, you don't want to go there? All right, I'll see you in an hour then, and walk away. Doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it. Be like, you want me to pick you up something? Or fine, I'll play you for it. Have fun with it, right? If I win, we go and you pay. Or fine, maybe your suggestion sucks, right? So you say, all right, well, suggest something else then, and we'll go there this time, but now you owe me, and I'll tell you what that is later. You know, this communicates something directly to that reptilian part of the brain that controls attraction. That has nothing to do with if you're metrosexual or look like Beto, where, as Colin suggests, like we as a people just don't like. I think that's untrue. I mean, think about all the Hugh Grant's characters in movies. He's liked. Women are attracted to him. Not really who you would consider a man's man, though, right? You don't really picture him in a, woodworking shop that he has in his garage. But he was certainly witty and charming and had access to that primitive part of the brain. Now, conversely, Vin Diesel certainly looks the part, and some might consider him a dick, not just in movies, but in real life. But how many women lust after him? I mean, he looks way stronger than Hugh Grant, but take a poll to see who women find more attractive. Now, as far as the other part of Colin's premise, that's why we like Michael Jordan more. I disagree. While it is true, his argument isn't really... I think his argument is really only applicable if phrased, that's why women in general seem to like Michael Jordan more. I think there are more significant reasons why we, as a group together, men and women, like Jordan more. And it has to do with character development and story. No surprise, that's what I believe. As a filmmaker, I love to tell stories. And a captivating story starts with an empathetic character, right? One person who has this one singular goal. A character is deserving of an emotional investment from the viewer when they have an immense desire for something, right? Okay, let's try and create now. Let's try and create a couple examples, two characters, and you tell me which journey you'd rather watch or listen to. So we have this guy, he's a family man who goes to church. He's got a 9 to 5, and let's make him interesting. Maybe he takes care of, maybe his parents are struggling and he takes care of them, and he volunteers when he can. So awesome dude. He wants his kids to go to a good college and his parents to retire. And one day he might want to visit France. Now let's think of another guy, right? All right. Let's say there's this dude. Nothing really special about him, so not worth mentioning. But he messed up, and he lost his best friend because of some F up on his part. And he wants nothing more than to mend that friendship. He wants it back. He needs that friendship back. And for whatever reason, he believes he needs to get snow globes from all 50 states in order for that to happen. Whose journey do you want to see? I mean, the first dude certainly sounds like a stand-up guy, deserving of praise, but he lacks an immense desire for something, and thus deserves less emotional investing from a viewer. I mean, even if the second dude is a hipster, whose story do you want to see play out? I personally want to see if A, if he gets, if he's able to get all 50 snow globes, and B, if his belief is actually true. The friendships mend. Gordon Gekko, Colin brought up Gordon Gekko, right? He isn't appealing because he had this like, he has a concept of capitalism and the public agrees with him on capitalism, thus we like him. And also he's a dick, so we like him more. No. Gordon Gekko is appealing as a character because he himself loves money and the game of it, and was damn good at stacking it up, right? And yes, he made no apologies to anyone in his journey. In his journey to do anything he could to game the system to get wealthier, because he wants more money. If someone beyond reason wants something so bad, that's interesting. The reason Michael Jordan is captivating is because he had an unmatched desire to be the best at the game of basketball and to win at all costs. That's why we excuse his shitty behavior, his horrible treatment of his teammates. Not because he was an alpha male dick. It's because this man only wants one thing. He's on a journey. He's on a crusade. He wants to be the best. He needs to win in order to be the best. That's primarily why we are attracted to him as a person. But we already sort of knew that. So why does this doc in particular make us like him more? It's character complexity. There are levels to developing a character. So we have a strong foundation in Michael, but the doc, by highlighting Michael's many wrinkles, makes him a unique and complex character. Yes, like Colin said, he is flawed, and it helps. Michael's competitiveness drove teammates to want to punch him. Steve Kerr, right? It bled off of the court, and he couldn't stop this competitiveness, this motor that he had. Playing and gambling in all hours in other sports and games, like golf and poker. He was on the verge or had already achieved everything he wanted and was willing to and did walk away. And then he came back to try and prove to himself and everyone all over again. And then you add to that, going back to the young, troubled version of Mike, who had to have a heart-to-heart talk from his father, who shaped and motivated him. And then later on, in the middle of all of this, at, the prime of Mike's career, his father was murdered. And then the media, who treated Jordan like the golden child, starts questioning if it was Mike's fault that his father was murdered. I mean, speaking of which, a great protagonist requires a great antagonist, right? A great conflict. And we have many forms here, not just the media's handling of that situation. From his brother, I think Larry, right? As the better baller brother. To questions about his size entering the draft. Remember, league was dominated by 7-foot giants, right? And here comes this guard. To players like Isaiah hating on him, freezing him out of the All-Star game. To the Pistons straight up beating Michael Jordan up. To Jerry Krause, right? I mean, he's painted as the ultimate villain, right? trying to break up this once in a lifetime dynastic, I mean, super team. He wants to break this team apart. Or how about himself, Michael Jordan himself, as the conflict, driving his teammates insane at times. I mean, this stock shows it all. And that's why we like him more. So, Colin, I love your work. I listen to The Herd, and I don't, necessarily disagree with you. I'm just ranking things differently. And I think it's more about the story that made us like more than him being some sort of alpha dick. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys like it? Do you guys like alpha dicks? I don't know. All right. That's all for now. I want you all to take care.